Good evening, everyone. How you all doing? Welcome to the edition of the 20 podcast. I'm Carl, is your host as usual. Join me on the left is my good co-host Doug, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, mate. It's good to be back. And yeah, what a big weekend it's been in the Premier League.
It has been as well, especially both of ourselves have been ill most of the last week or so. But we were supposed to do a recording last week, but we're both unpopular on the men. So we're glad we get to do this to do the edition of the recent match day 33 here in the Premier League as well. So yeah, we're going to discuss some big stuff about is the title out of Man City's hands, and we'll talk about the first Merseyside derby at the Hill Dixon Stadium as well, and look at the teams in the bottom four as well between Spurs, Brighton, Spurs as well as Leeds, and Nottingham Forest and West Ham as well. We have confirmed we got our first relegate team that's now relegated as well. So yeah, we'll discuss more into that shortly within the next hour or so. And let's go and start off with Sunday's game, the big game of the weekend. Man City winning 2-1 against Arsenal. City went ahead by Ryan Shaqiri, in the first goal. And then what an error from Donnarumma to, with Kai Harris blocked the shot and weirdly scored a goal from a blocked attempt as well. And then it was all Arsenal had a good chance until Erling Haaland got the winner as well. And we'll talk about Shaqiri got a red card in that game, Doug. But City have now closed that gap to 3 points. We've said it for the last couple of weeks. The way Arsenal is slowly, it's now the bottle. It's now starting to be bottled now for Arsenal. Now.
Yeah. Yeah, you've put the words out of my mouth completely. I think is. One thing I will say, though, Arsenal played well at City. They played well, but it's too little too late for me. Too little too late. Why on earth they basically decided to... It was almost like they wanted to sit back, almost. Try and sit back and obviously hit them on the counter. Like Cherky's goal is fantastic. There's no denying his goal was really good.
Yeah.
Absolute howler from Donnarumma. It's not like him.
No.
But, I've seen City fans say that he doesn't really play with his feet very often. I think the role of goalkeeper's really changed now. You've got to be a good goalkeeper with your feet, and I'm not so sure Donnarumma is at the moment.
No.
Obviously, going at halftime 1-1 was very good. Obviously, Arsenal did hit the post, I think, from Eberechi Eze, which was a very good effort. Kai Havertz should score again. Put through by Martinelli. Very good save by Donnarumma. And yeah, Erling Haaland does what Erling Haaland does best. And I really liked that battle between him and Gabriel.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very good battle.
It's becoming one of the main big battles in the last couple of games, the last season, the last 2 seasons actually now between them two.
Feels like it's been brewing a while now. But it's a huge win for Manchester City. Absolutely huge, considering when you thought that the title was like over when they were 9 points behind. Arsenal did have the chance to obviously go 10, 11, 12. Had it gone to 12, I think you would probably say it's maybe over. But there was always that feeling that you should never go up against this Manchester City side when they're behind you. Liverpool know that. Liverpool have known that for a number of years when they went head-to-head in the Klopp Pep days. And I'll keep saying it. Mikel Arteta is the reason, for me, that will stop Arsenal winning this title. I just don't see him getting over the line, and it's going to probably be the same on, I guess Atletico Madrid, because in my opinion, Atletico Madrid probably their last season with Simeone. Griezmann wants to go out on a high as well.
Yeah, there's been rumours about Simeone also leaving or crossing in Madrid as well because of the new ownership, which is at some point they didn't even win the Copa del Rey this week. Real Sociedad won it, and I think that's the first time I think an American coach has won a tie like a across Europe.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? But fair play to Sociedad. I mean, poor old Martin Zubimendi leaving Sociedad to join Arsenal, and Sociedad win a trophy. So, yeah, look, it's a big win for Manchester City. Obviously, they do go to Burnley on tomorrow evening. And look, I think they're not just going to win; they're going to relegate Burnley. Yeah, I think if Man City are really on it, they could get a few goals tomorrow, and that will definitely help the goal difference, and it could be the difference between them winning the title and losing the title. I honestly think goal difference is going to have a big factor in this.
Yeah, I look at Man City's record in April. Since probably it's been in April of the last 5-6 years. It's been tremendous they've at home, completely tremendous. Their record, especially in April. They've not even they've only drawn one game out of the last 15 plus wins they've had.
Yeah, I mean Arsenal have had a bit of an interesting record in April, and this season there's just no difference. Just seem to be falling off a cliff completely.
Yeah, absolutely as well. I just think without looking at the last couple of games, Arsenal this week, not just because they got the Champions League, but this week they're home to Newcastle on Saturday evening, and then after that they got Fulham the following weekend, another Saturday evening kick-off game, and then they go away to West Ham on the 10th of May, which West Ham might be still be a relegation battle, and then they've got Burnley the following weekend, and then the last day they're away to Crystal Palace. I'm going to ask you, just is the West Ham game going to be the deciding factor for Arsenal if they don't win the title?
I mean, I look at City's fixtures, and I think City got the hardest fixtures left. Yeah, they've got Everton away, Bournemouth away. Arsenal's obviously got to go West Ham. They've got to go Crystal Palace. We've got to pick up Newcastle at the weekend. There, we'll obviously come on to Newcastle. I think the West Ham game could be pivotal. West Ham could potentially be safe by then as well. So it is. I think one of those games is definitely the pivotal one for me, and we shall see what happens. I think they've got Fulham to come at the Emirates as well, and they've
They do.
slipped up in the past there as well. So yeah, I think still a long way to go, but the momentum is definitely Manchester City right now.
It certainly is. It certainly is as well. We'll keep an eye on how Man City does on Wednesday even against Burnley, which we were again. We'll talk about Burnley, draw around about in the next 10, 15 minutes as well. Let's move on to the game at the Hill to say the first Merseyside derby at Everton's new stadium, and Mo Salah got his final swan goal in the Merseyside with Liverpool winning 2-1, and also equalised from Beto as well, but. It took the 100 minute for Virgin Van from a corner to head the winner as well. And Doug, that was a huge win for Liverpool because we heard some news earlier today, as before we came to record, that Sky Sports News have told that Arne Slot will probably be there next season if they qualify for the Champions League. Give us your reaction to it, please, before we get ahead. Before we talk about the game.
Not surprised. I think this season has been a really poor season by our standards. I'm hearing people say it's a transition season. I don't think it has been. To finish so far off the pace is really disappointing. My only worry is though, if we are to keep Arne Slot, we are going into a Brendan Rodgers 2.0 situation. Where he was given a ton loads of money to spend, didn't even work out for him, and then by October the 3rd, he was fired after a Merseyside derby that finished 1-1. I would take that with a pinch of salt because I'm not sure if Sky are really up to date moment.
No, I'm gonna take that as a pinch of salt, probably clickbait, because I just feel like there's something is bubbling in what's been going on behind the scenes with FSG, because they're not with with the not with the third with the club motor club ownership that's now died down and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So especially with Salah leaving as well as Andy Robertson leaving, I think it's only Van Dijk and Alisson with only two left. That's part of that Champions League, the one in Champions League in 2019. So
Yeah, but big win against Everton. I've got to say that. I don't think we played particularly well. I thought Everton were probably the better team for most of that game. Doesn't help with Marmadashvili coming off as well, and then obviously Freddie Woodman making his Premier League debut. But
it's so weird because in the same weekend he's made his debut, his dad Andy's managing at Bromley got them promoted from League Two to League One for the first time. So them back-to-back promotions in their debut, especially just in their debut going into their debut season in the EFL. So what a weekend it has been for the Woodman. So I have to admit.
Yeah, fair play to obviously his dad for getting Bromley up to League One. I think that's fantastic for them. And yeah, look, I think Freddie Woodman did very, very well when he came on. I've got to say though, I thought Gakpo had one of his better games. That was a cracking ball to Mo Salah.
Yeah.
You kind of knew Mo Salah was going to have a say in this game. Always loves a goal against Everton. Beto equalizes. And yeah, Van Dijk from a corner. Where have we seen that before? Obviously, first ever game for Virgil van Dijk was against Everton, and it was a corner, and he scored.
Yeah, it was. I remember. And was it in the FA Cup as well? Actually, that was that game as well. Because
it was in the FA Cup because I remember Gylfi Sigurdsson scored that day, and Van Dijk scored the winner as well. I don't think there was really many sort of controversies in this game. I've seen people say Everton should have had a penalty when Curtis Jones barged into, I think it was Ndiaye. I don't think that was.
No, I don't think it was that penalty. Was it very clear cut in a way? I don't think it was a penalty though. So,
and the offside goal that Everton had, it was definitely offside. Jake O'Brien just steps a yard or two over, so Everton can feel a bit hard done by with that one, but that'll hurt because they know that the Liverpool were there for the taking, and they were down to our third choice and fourth choice goalkeeper against Crystal Palace. Actually, just before I was speaking about controversy incidents, I was meant to say about Gabriel. How the bloody hell is that not a red card?
Yeah.
When you move your head, sorry, I'm going on a bit of a tangent. So obviously,
no, that's fair. Yeah.
When you move your head into an opponent, that is violent conduct.
It is.
The fact he's not been sent off is an absolute disgrace. What happens if Gabriel scores the winning goal against Newcastle? What happens if Gabriel saves like a goal line challenge against Fulham? What happens if he does something against West Ham? Pep Guardiola would go off his absolute nut because that is a red card. Haaland, fair play to Haaland because I don't think he does anything.
No,
it's that battle was definitely brewing between the two all game, but that's 100% a red card.
Yeah, it definitely is. Anyway, it definitely is. I agree with that. I was surprised that he was not even set off. I was surprised. I understand the referee wanted to keep the game flowing, but you could see it. You could see it.
That's a red card. I'm sorry, it is. It's 100% a red card. But look, obviously that was obviously Arsenal. This game, a huge win, absolutely huge win. Probably all now but confirms our Champions League place because we are now 7 points ahead of Chelsea. We're obviously at Brighton this evening. You can't really see you can't really see anyone catching Liverpool. You can't see anyone catching Villa. You can't see anyone catching United.
No.
And then obviously City and Arsenal are in their own little battle. So I think for top 5, it's probably all but sewn up.
Yeah, I do as well too, actually. And let's move it on to, as you just talk about Chelsea. Let's move on to Chelsea's disappointing weekend. Chelsea losing 1-0 to Manchester United. Mateus Cunha boosts his Red Devils top 4 hopes. Doug, let's talk about the biggest elephant in the room, Liam Rosina. Somehow there was talks about the club. There was questions like, is he going to have the support? Then he's kind of say he's got the support. But do you think Chelsea are fully committed to giving him support, or is he really, really out of his depth completely?
This is their form since the 11th of March. PSG 5, Chelsea 2. Chelsea 0, Newcastle 1. Chelsea 0, PSG 3. Everton 3, Chelsea 0. Chelsea 7, Port Vale 0. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 3. And Chelsea 0, Manchester United 1.
Yeah.
My Chelsea friend, who I had a message. I'm giving a few shouts because when we get to come to Spurs, there's a wee funny thing I've got to say. Chelsea have now lost their past 4 Premier League games without scoring their joint longest run since November 1912.
Wow.
114 years ago.
Jesus, yeah.
Chelsea look a shadow of themselves. Not the best game.
No.
Man United winning it doesn't really surprise me. And they'll be thankful that they got rid of Garnacho because he is a waste of space in that.
You could see that when he came on after the injury to Estavo, and he just there was a reason why Man United got rid of him.
Yeah,
we know why.
Yeah. He's a troublemaker.
Yeah.
And he just, Cunha is a very good player. Bruno Fernandes, another assist as well. How thankful they can be very, very thankful for Lamans because ever since moving away from Andre Onana, he has been outstanding for Manchester United.
Yep, I have to agree. I think there was always that comparisons. Was he the next Peter Schmeichel? There was 1 or 2 comparisons with that where he came in with his age. It's still early days, but I hate to say it even though we beat them last weekend. I have to say Lammers has probably been one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League this season. The way he's come in and commanded himself. I don't know what the situation is going to be with Onana when he goes back to Old Trafford in the summer. I really don't. I think I cannot. I don't think there's no comparison. There's going to be a goalkeeping battle with them two in the summer. I don't see it. I'm sorry.
No, I think there's talk that Bob Bayindir is probably going to go to Turkey as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I would not be surprised if Bayindir leaves to go to Turkey. I would not be surprised. I don't think Onana stays, to be honest. I think if Bayindir moves on, then I don't see Onana being second choice because you can't really have 2 second choice goalkeepers. You can't really have 2 first choice goalkeepers in the same team. So I think there's a decision to be made over Onana for sure.
Yeah, very much so. There's going to be a really interesting decision as well with that as well. Is Chelsea's spot in the Europa League under threat now with the teams behind them, especially if they lose to Brighton tonight? Chelsea can go down to 7th tonight.
They could go to 7th. They could actually go down to 10th. I think I've seen as well.
Yeah, it could do if as I said, because Brighton's 9th at the moment before head of kickoff. Everton's 10th, and you got Sunderland at 46th and Fulham 12th. So yeah, it's all to play for. Even if Brighton wins tonight, they got their 2 points ahead of Chelsea after tonight if they win.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. But this is the thing with Chelsea. Badly run, and unfortunately, it's just the way it's going.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's questions if Chelsea can. I don't. Like I said, I don't see Chelsea getting into the top five now. We both agree with that one. Is the question is, can they even get to Europa League? Will that keep Liam seeing his job? That time will tell. Time's going to tell now because
Yeah,
I think with especially with them making so much losses on the spending they've had done the last couple of seasons, I think it's going to catch up to them, especially when we'll have to meet the PSR criteria completely.
100%.
Moving on to the game on Saturday evening, Spurs thought they won the game before Jorginho to equalise to silence the Spurs crowd, who was very vocal in the 2-2 draw. A goal from Pedro Porro before what equalised from Mitoma before half time, and then Simons scored before it was a winner before the 8th minute, and they thought he had to go off injured, and then Rutter got equal. Doug, it felt like everything was just taken away from Spurs at that last minute when that last second the crowd just plunged completely.
I mean, Spurs have no luck. Reminds me of a quote that Murray Walker famously said: "If they didn't have bad luck, they'd have no luck at all."
Yep, absolutely true. Morocco said that his best times when as a F1 commentator. Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know what to say about Spurs. I mean, De Zerbi is a very, very good manager, but probably the wrong fit for Spurs at the moment when they're in a relegation battle. Xavi Simons, fantastic goal. But what you don't actually, I want to ask you this: should Xavi Simons have been sent off?
ooh,
Because there's two offences he does.
yeah.
Takes his shirt off, and secondly, goes into the crowd.
That's a good question. I thought because I thought it could have been set up because he did those two offenses at once. But I don't know. It's an interesting one with that one because I never thought, because we players have done that in the past. Some of them get away with it just a yellow card, or someone will get the yellow card and then the second yellow card to make a red card. I would agree with you a bit on the latter. I think he should have been second. He should have been sent off because of those two offenses. I don't know how you could put those offenses as one. It doesn't work like that, and it should not be at all. But I do kind of agree with what you're saying. It made me think about it now as very carefully with that one, and I think probably it should have been flagged up completely, but they didn't. So, well, just before you actually respond, Doug, I've just seen that Hull have just scored at Leicester. So,
10 years ago, Leicester City won the Premier League.
5,000 to 1 outsiders.
5,000 to 1 outsiders, and tonight they could be relegated to League One. It's just incredible when you think about when you actually think about the fact that it was obviously Leicester and Tottenham. Both of those were going for the title.
Yep, it was. It's such a weird feeling that Leicester could go down by tonight, and then Spurs could go down this season if it could be. It's so weird that 10 years ago those two teams were battling for the title.
Madness, absolute madness. I just don't know what to think.
Well, you're not going to believe this, but Chelsea have Brighton have just scored against Chelsea. It's not. Yeah, see, it's not surprising. I said you were saying this, weren't we, before we started recording? I said we wouldn't be surprised if Brighton won, and Conoglu's just scored in the 3rd minute. So,
Jesus, yeah, it just doesn't surprise me one bit.
No, doesn't at all. Neither does it surprise me at all as well. That look at the table now that Brighton will go above Chelsea 2 points ahead of him if that result stays the same tonight as well. So, yeah, it's so interesting.
I will say though, cracking goal from Mitoma.
Yeah, he didn't even need to really boot it really hard. It was great
volley, absolutely great volley.
Yeah, absolutely great volley, and give I was surprised. I'm surprised he didn't even start the game until Gomez had to go off injured, and then I think he was that catalyst, and I think with Rutter has also played his part as well to get the equaliser. He still leads for Rutter despite he joined Brighton. We still forget about him when he scores, and probably yeah.
Yeah, still a good player. Still a very, very good player. But that's a dagger in the hearts of Spurs, I think.
It is. I looked up when I think Dean Asher was on Monday Night Football. I think both of them could see. We said that's the points that I think him and Jamie Carragher gave. It's not enough. I think they'll be on 39. I think 39.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I feel like it's now curtains closed on Spurs completely. I really do.
Feels like it
Yeah.
feels like that they could go down.
Yep. And I would like to have Archie Gray back, please. I don't know about the loan of permanent deal, but I like him back. I think he's too good to play in the championship. So
I've heard that he could be going to Liverpool potentially.
see, I couldn't argue with that as well. I feel like he does fit that little pool, but I wouldn't surprise Leeds will be in the running because if Leeds stay, I think that they can because of that now. Because I had some rumors that Tanaka wants to leave, and even Ampadu has been because of the PSR stuff. So I don't know what's there's been rumors going on about that, but I'm not sure if it's going to be it will stick on that one. So
Yeah, it'll be very, very interesting to see what will happen there. But nope, doesn't really surprise me. Brighton ahead against Chelsea does not really surprise me at all.
no, not surprised me as well too. Let's move on to the game at Elland. And Wolves have now been relegated after the slow decline. And before that, there was relegated confirmed on Monday night, but we already knew they were relegated after they lost 3-0 to Leeds. I have to say, what a goal from James Justin, Doe. But that's Leeds' first back-to-back wins this season, and it's been maybe the way we've started in that first few minutes. We should have scored when the Cavaliers in the better save it, but Justin with the acrobat free kick, Okafor with the counter attack, and the Cavaliers will get score for the penalty. And Cavaliers now got 12 goals in all competitions this season. As do you think Danny Farker deserves so much credit for after the flag when people question him? And I have to say this myself, I give him a lot more credit now, and I know he's saying we still got to play the points we get, but like you've asked me, I'm actually, do you think Leeds are now safe now?
Yes, because I think 39 points or just above that 41, I think is going to be enough. I mean, you've got your big game at Bournemouth on tomorrow evening as well, and then obviously you've got your semi-final against Chelsea. I think Leeds have had a fantastic season. A lot of people are saying Daniel Farke was very, very fortunate to keep his job. I think it was safe to say.
Yeah.
But I've got to say it. Leeds have been very, very good. That win at Old Trafford was superb. Absolutely superb. First time since 1984?
1981, our first league win at Old Trafford, yeah.
1981. Great win. Played their part as well. They were fantastic. So I think you're safe. I think you're safe.
I kind of do too, but I always have that back of the head mind is this is I'm thinking doing a Leeds when things are all right and then we get sucked back in again. There's always that play in the back of my mind, but I think those always questions. Did we, should we, when it was in the January transfer window, I questioned was it going to be hit or miss? Do we get a striker? And I know Trent Larson was available on the last day. On the last day, we knew he was going to go to Palace, but I think, like I said, it's a gamble. It's kind of paid well off because we kept Calvert quite majority fit for the first time this season. Where I think Everton really struggled, and I think he set the tone and leader from the line. He set the tone for Leeds completely because everyone thought this was a stupid move. The people said, "Why do you not get Callum Wilson? He's a bit," but I think it's paid off quite well, and I think the way where Man United was struggling playing that formation that Amorim's been playing, it's suited us more better. And I'm thinking, how the hell have we done better than Ruben Amorim was playing that formation? We've done so well to play Okafor and Harrison up front, Calvert-Lewin. It's worked for us. And I think with having Goodmanson has probably been one of the underrated signings in the Premier League this season, joined from Lille. He's been one of the underrated signings where I think people should give him credit for that because he's been really good this season on the left, replacing Junior Firpo. But when you have Justin and Bogo, I think James Justin coming for £8 million from Leicester, where people Leicester fans thinking, what you lot smoking? Well, we're not smoking anymore because he's brought the smoke, and that Akbar Afrika was tremendous as well, actually.
I just think that front I just think that front three you've got is very, very good. But I think the one thing I will say is that Leeds are going to be safe because of what they've done, and Calvert-Lewin has been fantastic because of that. I think you've got a really good team, got a good spine in your team as well. One thing that really would surprise me though, if you were to probably lose that spine, because I think Calvert-Lewin has been fantastic. 12 goals is very, very good. Does he go to the World Cup for you?
It's a good question, actually. I don't think he does. I wish he does. Mm-hmm. I think Welbeck deserves. I'm going to say this: Danny Welbeck is a more better fit. He should be ahead of him. I'm surprised that he did not get to play in the last international break. I would like to see it, but I don't think so. I think Calvert-Lewin's had a good season. Yeah, he might be in consideration, but I feel like if he wants to build on from what he's done this season, I think keeping him fit is going to be more vital than it ever has done because we've kind of now know his program, his fitness program. We don't train him too hard. We train him at the right amount where his body can cope and make sure you get him in. So I don't think he will go. I don't think he will go, but he will. I think he will just miss. He will miss out because I think there's a lot of good strikers ahead of him. You got Kane, you got Watkins. I think also the question is Solanke, can he get back in it? I think it's a bit too late for Dominic Solanke, but I think Welbeck will be one of them, and Rashford as well too. So I think those are probably the four strikers, and I don't know about Ivan Toney. I think he'll be considered as well. So I think there's better players that's up front, but yeah, like I said, he's still an outside chance. You never know, but in my mind, I don't think. I think he'll be focusing more if continuing his personal training after the injury Rav he's had before he joined us, because it looks a lot more leaner, more fitter for the first time that we've seen from the days when I think it was COVID season I think he was one of the top 5 goal scorers in the Premier League during COVID. During the 21 season as well. So yeah.
Just a quick one on Wolves as well. Poor recruitment. I think it's safe to say that they've gone down.
It's been a slow decline, Doug, for quite a while since Nuno left, and I think it's been coming. It has been slowly coming.
Yeah, I think they keep Rob Edwards though.
I think he fits them. I think he fits for the Championship. I think now they've been relegated, they can let off a lot. They can let off a bit of steam. Where I think they've been more free for the first time since the come because they have been playing a lot more better. Yeah, I know with what's going on, what's going on, the quality of football's been bad with the ownership as well. But I feel like with Wolves being relegated, they could just could play freely, express themselves freely now for the first time. Now to be relegated, that confirmation happened last night. So yeah, it's huge. It's huge. And look, I think maybe over Edwards there. I think we'll be surprised that Wolves would be one of the favourites to come back up next season. I think with always there, they'll get the right players in. I think they've done that already with bringing Adam Armstrong in, who's got that criteria playing in the Championship. He knows the Championship, so I think that will work well on his side. And I think to let some players go, I think some of the players and some of the youngsters there. I think Mane, I think he's going to be one of the best probably young player of the season next season, if he could continue his run of form. And I think that's something that Wolves will like to keep because I think it's going to be a huge summer for them going forward.
Yeah, 100%. And I'll be back in a wee minute.
Sure thing. That's no problem. I know you got your daddy duties to do, so. Yeah, so no, it's interesting with that one. What's happening? I think deep down with I think, like I said, with Leeds at the moment, and I said on the channel on Saturday that was a vital 3 point. That was a good result. Well, probably our best performance, but the first time we get to win back to back wins this season is vital. It's so vital, and it's been coming. It's been coming, and I think that performance at Old Trafford, we should have been 3-4 nil up by half time. We had so much good chances, but yeah, it's been good, and I think Farker's done a tremendous job with it. I think it's great. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd be in consideration as one of the Premier League manager of the season, whatever. I don't think he will get it, but I bet he'll be in that talking point of the teams that's done quite well. I think you could say about Brentford what with Keith Andrews has done. Same with with Areola as well. So, and I think even Hertzler is now in consider that discussion as well. The way there was questions about his future, but they still fight for European spots as well. So yeah, I think it's been a really actually been a good week for Leeds. And like I said, we could catch Newcastle. Newcastle only 42 on 42, Leeds on 39. So it's all to play for, because we'll talk about Newcastle straight after with the Forest and Burnley game, because we are discussing more of the teams in the bottom half at the moment, which we are on this subject at this moment. So yeah, I think deep down it's actually really good for Leeds, especially. Yeah, we want him because we won't score. We won't score it until till the last 2 games, and it's been good for us. And especially now we're getting the FA Cup this weekend as well against Chelsea. But we got Bournemouth, which I think is going to be a much changed squad for Bournemouth on Wednesday night. So I wouldn't be surprised at all as well. So yeah, but just to let you know, guys, before Doug comes back, this weekend we're not going to have the Saturday show this weekend because I am back at work. So Stefan will be in London. So there will be no Saturday show on this weekend as well. Sunday, I think I will probably the championship view as well. I think we'll have Michael and Annie to cover for us as well, to do that show as well too. So yeah, I'm going to be off pretty much all bit off this week as well due to my working as well. But as I should be back on the following weekend. After next weekend to do because I am off next weekend to do the Saturday show and the championship review, because we are coming close, I think, to next weekend, where it's the penultimate weekend. Actually, no, next weekend is going to be the weekend of the championship, the last of the championship season as well, which, like I said, seeing what the score is at the moment. At the moment, Leicester could go down as well tonight because they're still losing 1-0 at Hull City against Hull City at home. Sorry, Oxford, also drawing 0-0 against Wrexham at this moment in time. Wrexham are fighting for the playoffs as well. Hull, alongside Hull, Derby County are losing 1-0 at Norwich City as well. Coventry could be champions by tonight because they are winning 1-0 against Portsmouth, who also been on a good run, still relegation. And Southampton have equalised after they were 1-0 down against Bristol City as well. Millwall are now still 1-0 after at Stoke City as well. So yeah, it's all to play for in a course of that as well. But yeah, it's so much things there, but we are looking forward to it. Today we're into the season across all the leagues as well too. So yeah, appreciate that as well for everyone who's joined the last couple of days as well. So yes, we should be hopefully get Doug back on shortly as well. So like I said, please do not go anywhere. Like I said, we'll still be here, but like I said, we'll get Doug back on shortly. But the next thing I would like to discuss about is I'll get into the next fixtures as well, actually. Actually, a good win for Nottingham Forest this past weekend. They won 4-1 against Burnley. Morgan's hat-tricks fired Forest close to safety, where Burnley could be relegated, but tomorrow evening against Man City as well. So it's not looking good for them as well. I have to say, good win for Forest. I think they're coming in good form at the moment. Yesterday in the Europa League semi-final, where they have to play against Aston Villa, which we'll talk about Aston Villa shortly as well. But a good result for Victor Pereira as well. they're now 5 points clear, 4 points clear, 5 points clear, sorry, of Tottenham, at the moment. So yeah, it's been a very, very very, very good, big couple of weeks for Forest, because they have been with some really huge games, especially the win at Tottenham Hotspur before the international break as well, too, as well. So yeah, it's out of the teams at the moment. It's between Forest, West Ham, and Spurs. I just think, like Doug said earlier, I just feel like Spurs could go down. I feel like that as well. I think Forest and West Ham maybe have enough in their firepower, especially West Ham. Being a good decent form under Nuno under the second half of the season, and Forest as well, kind of picking up the results as well, especially getting back Chris Wood as well. Really, really good, a good win for them. As for Burnley, it's the end. It's another season. They're struggling again. They're only 3 points ahead of Wolves. Where Burnley can still finish probably at the bottom of the Premier League as well. They still have a chance because it's only a 3-point difference. But yeah, we all thought, with everything, there was one of the teams, Burnley, one of the promoted teams that could go down the season. I think there was not much quality in that squad as well, too. As well, so yeah, it's quite interesting where things will pan out as well. So yeah, really disappointed for Burnley as well too. So what we will do is, because as Doug is still taking time to just to make sure his son is just such a good night's sleep as well, especially because we have to do the recording as well. So I appreciate everyone's time. It is. Being a parent is tough, not gonna lie, especially when you're doing recording this and stuff and so forth as well. So, and we got Doug back. Doug, good to have you back. Just was talking about not Forest and Burnley. Gibbs White scored a hat trick, but let's talk about Burnley. We know it's in there as well. They are going to go down, but for Forest, that was a result they needed as well, especially returning. Elliot Anderson had to deal with family bereavement recently, but he had to come back. And also bringing Chris Wood back as well, that's been vital important.
He's been a big miss, hasn't he, Chris Wood? He's been a huge miss. Gracie Morgan Gibbs White got a hat-trick as well. And the fact that Burnley took the lead in this game as well was really surprising. But yeah, they're on the brink of relegation now. I just don't see them getting anything from Manchester City. Whether they keep Scott Parker or not is another matter. I think, unfortunately for Scott Parker, I thought he had learned his ways, but quite clearly hasn't. And he just hasn't had the team to be successful. And yeah, I think they're gone. Burnley tomorrow against City. I think that could be any score, to be honest.
Yeah, it could be any score. It could be any score at all, mate. I just feel like you knew this weekend, and like I said, I just said before you came a call, Burnley can still finish the bottom of the table because there's only 3 points gap between them and Wolves. In 19th, 20th, and I don't think they want that, especially if Wolves get a win before the end of the season, and it just and they will have a bit more solidarity payments because they've been in the season for so long. So
yeah, I think that could be the case.
Yeah, so do I as well too. Right, let's move on to another game. We know we had rumors. Adonai Areola confirmed that he's going to be leaving Bournemouth at the end of the season. But like I said, they've been on a 30-game unbeaten record as they beat Newcastle 2-1, and it's been a really good week for Bournemouth, Doug, because yes, Areola is leaving. It's a shame. But they brought in someone like Marco Rose, the former RB Leipzig manager, head coach, who's come in, and they're actually been in good form. That's not letting them distract them, despite the news that happened this week where Areola decided not to renew his contract. He wants a new, fresh. He looks like he's going to be going for another big top 6 club. But but for Newcastle, you have to question another damage through for Eddie Howe. I think in his press conference, he took on to respond to an answer about his future and also the players. Do you worry about his future, and do you think he will be there in the summer?
I mean, he says he's going to be there. Whether or not he is another matter.
Especially when your chief executive was very non-committal in
Mm-hmm.
a recent interview as well. So there's a lot of something's not right at Newcastle.
Definitely not. There's definitely something going on with Anthony Gordon.
Mm.
Um,
I don't
the fact
believe that he was out injured. I don't
I
believe
don't
that.
believe that either. I think there's something going on with him. I think he wants to leave. Um, but again, it's another game where you kind of look at it, and I always thought Bournemouth would win that game. I don't know why, but they've got a decent
I did
record.
as well. Yeah, so did I.
They've got a decent record at Newcastle, and obviously Tavernier and Truffert scoring the goals there as
Yeah.
well. I'll say again, Andoni Areola has done an absolutely amazing job at Bournemouth. He's done a fantastic job there.
Yeah.
But what a replacement, Marco Rose. Done well at Dortmund, done all right at Leipzig, done very well at Mönchengladbach.
Yeah. Do you think because how Crystal Palace have not even looked at him, and somehow it's Bournemouth game because both have decided to do it quickly and to make sure, whereas Crystal Palace for overhand, we know guys is leaving, they're just being very quiet on who's going to come in.
Yeah, obviously that's down to the owner, Foley. He's done a very, very good job getting in Marco Rose very, very quickly.
Mm.
So yeah, look, it's going to be very, very intriguing to see how he does. But no, Areola lost 5 of his best players last season.
Yep.
And Semenyo in January obviously lost the entire back four. Kirkes, Huijsen, Zabarnyi, and yeah, he has done a very good job there, and yeah, 13 games unbeaten. Obviously, hopefully not 14 for your sake tomorrow, but
yeah, I know
they're doing very, very well.
Absolutely doing very, very well. As just seeing the late scores, actually, it could be now double relegation for both Leicester and Oxford because Oxford are now losing to Wrexham 1-0 through a Josh Windass goal. So at this current stance, both Leicester and Oxford will be relegated this evening as well.
Wow. Crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy indeed as well. Actually, really is crazy indeed. Right, let's get to the last 3 games. So let's go to Villa Park. What a game this was Sunday. I have to say, Tommy Abraham scored a 93rd minute winner to help Arsenal boost their Champions League hopes after beating Sunderland. I have to say, what a game that was on Sunday as well. And like I said, Villa was scored in the second minute through Ollie Watkins, and then Chris Ray scored, and then Ollie Watkins scored in the fix before 2-1. But I have to say, Villa didn't look too comfortable when they went 3-1 up, and you could see Sunderland had so much chances before Trey Hume and Isidore scored within a minute apart towards the end before everyone got the winner.
Yeah, I mean, Michael was complaining they've not had an English goal scorer this season.
No, there isn't.
But it was a Chris Rigg scoring for them, and Wilson Isidore. Now this is interesting. He's actually chosen to play for Haiti, so he's going to be playing against Scotland.
Yeah, I saw that because I knew he was eligible for Haiti, and I think there was another national team because he also had France as well. But he's played up to the under-20s, and I think he decided to, because he also has got a bit of Haitian, so he decided to commit to Haiti. So fair play, fair enough, and I think it could be interesting for them, especially up front as well.
Yeah, I mean, Villa won in the end, but what a game of football! 4-3. I did not see that coming in any shape or circumstances for that one. But fair play to Aston Villa.
Yeah, fair play to Villa as well. I think after looking at the top all score coaches so far, Ollie Watkins is probably alongside Danny Webb, but Calvert-Lewin in the top. I think Solanke Caruso in there, so That's quite interesting. Chris. Like I said, also this team is not being a lot of English players score until Chris Reek scores. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Their squad is very, very diverse, and he is very diverse as well. But just surprised because Chris Reek is still young. I thought he would have more chance to with his age. But yeah, but given that where Villa is right now, they probably are focusing to get to the final to the Europa League. Like I did talk about Nottingham Forest as well, Doug. The both of them teams players get each other in the semi-final.
Yeah.
Who do you think is more suited for the final because of the two legs, Villa or Forest?
Aston Villa, I would say. I don't see much between the two sides because they're two very, very good sides. I just think though Emery against Vitor Pereira. I think Emery's got the hold. He knows about the European competitions, and I just think having Emery there is going to be the biggest factor for me. So I think Villa will go through to the final. It's just going to be nice to see an English club in the final of the Europa League.
At least it's not like it was last season. It was the two worst English clubs. So
yeah,
Man United, Spurs. So yeah.
Yeah, so Villa have done a very good job. So no, I think it's a very, very good final. Whoever they get, but yeah, for me, I would say Villa to triumph over Forest.
Yeah, so I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's Villa's to lose, and then they have to get to the final now. So yeah, especially they might have to play Freiburg in the final, which is going to be interesting. So yeah, if they do, Freiburg do win as well. So yeah, be interested to see. Well, let's move on to our penultimate game on Monday Night Football last night, Doug. West Ham missed the chance to move 4 points clear after drawing 0-0 against Crystal Palace. Yeah, it was a bit of a stalemate between these two sides. They both were energetic from the start, but it didn't translate into any goals throughout last night. And I know Arteta's handball was confirmed after with South he scored. Arteta handballed it in the build-up, but again, what Oliver Glass decided only like 5 points behind Chelsea in 6. So, what's your take on it? Do you think West Ham should have got the win, or do you think it's a well-deserved point where they are at the moment?
I'll be honest, it wasn't a very good game.
No.
Probably a draw is just about fair, I would say. I found it funny, actually. The Sky Sports Premier League page saying that it was Jordan Henderson in goal for Palace and not
I saw that.
Which I found a bit hilarious, because I then quote tweeted them. They saying, "Oh, since when has Jordan Henderson been a goalkeeper for Crystal Palace? That well-known goalkeeper called Jordan Henderson."
Yep.
Yeah. But I suppose if you're West Ham, big news today.
Yeah, big news we got today that Baroness Brady, she's decided to step down after 16 years at the club as well. And Doug, I have to admit, it's kind of been a long time coming because there's been a lot of unrest between Karen Brady and also Dee Sullivan as well. Do you feel like it's going to be a change at West Ham with the ball, not because now Karen Brady's now left? But do you see that it's going to be the end of the Gordon Sullivan partnership, that Daniel Krinsky could buy the club outright, or they get new stake investors coming in?
They could get new investors to come in.
It's been coming for a long time, especially of the promises of moving to a world-class state, as she called it, as well as a world-class team, and it's just not been there.
Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously, David Gold, I think, passing away didn't help them at all. Obviously, Baroness Brady's stepping down today. Wouldn't be too surprised if we see David Sullivan maybe move away. really interesting now. But they've been wanting the GSB lot out for ages, really.
For a long time, probably since 16 years ago when it came in, and yeah,
Mm. So yeah, I'm not surprised at this news. I think it's probably been coming. Um, I actually thought if West Ham actually went down, I think West Ham fans would have probably wanted new owners anyway. So yeah, I'm not too shocked at this news, really.
no, it's been coming. She said she would consider made a decision to leave in mid February, having first considered in January, as she told the Times. This is her statement. It's been a privilege to work alongside the board, management, players, supporters at West Ham United. Together, we have achieved remarkable milestones, but the highlight for me was always been lifting the UEFA Europa Conference League over. That will stay with me forever. I am greatly deepful. I'm deeply grateful for the relationships and chance opportunities that shaped my time at the club. Yes, I'm not gonna lie, she has been a trailblazer of what she's been doing. When she came into the football world in 1993 when she was the appointed managing director at 23 at Birmingham City. But yeah, as I said, it's been coming for a while.
Yeah.
Of this situation with GSB, when the promises they made, and she negotiated the deal to move to the controversial decision to move to London Stadium, which hasn't been a well settled home for the Hammers. But
No.
were they making this change now at some point? And also, one of the exec directors, Nathan Thompson, also stepped down as well. So this sounds like it's going to be a change completely at the West Ham at West Ham.
Yeah, does really surprise me in the slightest. So no, for we've done. She's done a very good. She did a good job at Birmingham City. I think she's done an okay job at West Ham. And obviously she wants to focus on her, obviously more in the House of Lords. Obviously, I think the Apprentice. I think she said as well.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Sorry, she's been very, very good for West Ham. But yeah, time to move on.
It is time to move on as well. Right, let's finish with the last game as well. It was also another 0-0 draw in West London between Brentford and Fulham. Brentford made to go in 6 with a Ghost Shaw. Doug, Fulham didn't register a shot on target as well. So
yeah, I mean, there wasn't really much to really talk about this game. Two good sides, two who have no relegation troubles. Two teams are trying to sort of vie for those European positions. Drab 0-0. Typical sort of end of season game, I would say.
pretty much, yeah, it has. It was pretty much drab. The season game really was completely as well. So, not really surprised with that. And like I said, Brentford. This was their sixth, the fifth consecutive stalemate in the top flight. In the last couple of games as well. So, yeah, it's a bit very lackluster with the game. And like I said, there's not much to say at all. So,
yeah, no draw, drab affair. Not much to say about that one.
No, absolutely not. Actually, right. Let's look at the tables now. Actually, and get the business rolling on that one. So, just to get the screen up as well, and also, so as before tonight, because I'm going to bring the table from after Monday night instead of not right now at the moment. So you see on here that Arsenal's gap is now cut to 3 points from behind ahead of Man City. United ahead of Villa due to goal difference. Liverpool and so far that top 5 as well. Brentford missed out to go above Chelsea as well. Brighton as well too. Also, if they could win tonight, Brighton will go up to 6th place as well. Leeds are only 3 points behind Newcastle. 3 points behind Newcastle, where they could finish 14th. While at the bottom, the Spurs are still in 18th place despite the draw against Brighton, where West Ham moving 2 points ahead of Forest as well, and also a win for Nottingham Forest clears them 5 points ahead of the bottom 3. We confirm that Wolves have been relegated, and also Burnley could be relegated by tomorrow, even if they want to play against Man City as well. So, yes, Doug, that's pretty much the end of the show completely. Like I said, for you, any upcoming content for you this week for everyone to know about?
Not really. Obviously, seeing Michael and yourself on Saturday, so that'll be good to do.
Fortunately, I'll see you after work on Saturday evening because I can't go to the game because I'm bloody working. So yes, I'll catch up with you guys after your day out anyway. That's the
Yeah.
problem. So
Yeah. But yeah, content wise, nothing much to be honest with you. Just sort of now gearing up towards obviously the World Cup.
yeah.
So yeah, not much to report. But yeah, if there's
No,
anything that comes on here,
I'm the same as well because I'm working this weekend. Stefan is going to be in London, so there's no Saturday show this weekend, which I did mention earlier while you went off the air. So there's no Saturday show this weekend. I don't think there'll be any championship review this weekend, but if Michael and Annie are able to do it because I'm working, they can do it. So, but yeah, I'm not back on probably till fully for next weekend when it's the final weekend of the championship season as well. So yeah, I think I'll be back on that. But there's nothing much going on as well. So yeah, but like I said, you can find Doug at the Dugout Football channel here on YouTube and all these other platforms as well. You can find the Total League Home Football Podcast on YouTube as well. Please subscribe and like as well. So hit that button as well for upcoming content as well. But that is all we've got time for here on the 20 podcast for myself and Doug. We'll probably the next week we should be on next weekend, I think, Doug. I'm looking at the moment with the fixtures this weekend because of Chelsea and Leeds are playing. I might say playing in the FA Cup. We should be able to do some Premier League content after Monday Night Football between Man United and Brentford as well. So yeah,
yep, no worries at all.
Absolutely. Thank you for everyone for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Take care for now. Have a good week. Goodbye.
Bye.